You know that favorite local brand you absolutely love? Have you ever thought about what it really takes for them to start selling their products all over the world? Yeah, it used to be a complete logistical nightmare, but today we're going to dive into how AI is basically becoming the secret weapon that's turning these local heroes into global giants.
All right, so here's the plan. First, we're going to look at the massive wall of challenges that stops most brands in their tracks. Then, we'll bring in our hero, AI acting as your co-pilot. We'll see how it helps you understand totally new cultures and untangles all those complex operations. We're also going to talk about why you still need human experts in the mix. And then, we'll wrap up by looking at what all this means for the future of retail.
You know, every successful business dreams of going global. It sounds so exciting, right? But that dream can turn into a total nightmare of hidden costs, confusing rules, and honestly, some pretty embarrassing cultural mistakes. Let's break down what that nightmare actually looks like.
So picture this. You've absolutely crushed it in your home market. You're the talk of the town. Expanding seems like the obvious next step. But the second you try to cross a border, bam, you hit this giant wall of complexity. So let's take a closer look at the bricks that make up that wall.
It's just a tangled web. All of a sudden, you're dealing with things like VAT registration, which is this super complex sales tax system. Then there's something called Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR. That's a rule, especially in places like the EU, that says you have to pay for recycling your own product's packaging. Now, pile on international shipping, trying to manage inventory on different continents, and providing customer service 24/7, and you could see why most businesses just throw in the towel.
So how on earth do you get past all of this? Well, this is where our main character enters the story. AI is quickly becoming the essential co-pilot you need to navigate all this craziness. And let's be clear, this isn't some far-off futuristic concept we're talking about. This is happening right now. AI has officially moved on from being a trendy buzzword to being a non-negotiable part of any serious global strategy. If you're not using it, you're already falling behind. So, when we say AI, what does that actually mean for a brand? Well, imagine a tool that can scan millions of social media posts in Germany to tell you, hey, customers here really care about eco-friendly packaging. Or maybe it sifts through search trends in Japan to find a growing demand for a very specific product feature. It's really about turning this ocean of data into a clear, actionable game plan. Okay, let's look at the first huge way AI changes the game, getting to know people in a brand new market. And I mean, this goes so far beyond just translating your website from one language to another. Just think about the old way of doing things, right? You'd spend a fortune on focus groups and surveys, and then you'd launch a product that just completely misses the mark culturally. AI totally flips that script. Instead of guessing, it analyzes what people are actually doing in real time, what they're searching for, what they're buying, what they're talking about online. This lets brands be incredibly precise and, maybe more importantly, incredibly fast.
And this is where all that data turns into a real connection. I mean, it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about using those numbers to create marketing that feels like it was made just for them. When a customer in a new country feels like a brand actually gets their culture and their values, well, that's how you earn trust, and that's how you build a business that lasts.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. True localization is so much more than translating your website. Maybe customers in France expect way faster shipping, or maybe shoppers in Italy respond better to a totally different style of product photo. AI helps you uncover all these little, subtle, but absolutely critical preferences, so every single interaction feels native and natural. But hey, understanding the customer is only half the battle. You still got to get the product to them. And this is where AI basically becomes your mission control, totally revolutionizing the ridiculously complex world of global operations. When you really look at where all the time and money goes, it's a pretty daunting picture. A massive 40% is just logistics and shipping. Another huge piece is just trying to guess how much stuff you need in each country. This is where costs just spiral out of control, and tiny mistakes can become million-dollar problems. So how does AI actually fix this? Well, first, it automates all the boring, repetitive work, which frees up your team to think about the big picture instead of just filling out customs forms. Second, it's kind of like a crystal ball for your inventory. It predicts demand so you don't have too much stock sitting around, or even worse, sell out a popular item. And third, it powers things like 24/7 chatbots that can answer a customer's question in their own language, even while your whole team is asleep. So what's the result of all this? Well, you get the three things every growing brand desperately wants: more sales, access to new markets, and just way less hassle.
AI doesn't just make things more efficient, it makes ambitious growth actually feel manageable. Now, it's really tempting to think of AI as this magic wand that just solves everything. But the truth is, technology by itself is never enough. It's at its most powerful when you pair it with real human expertise. It really all comes down to this. The technology is only as good as the strategy that's guiding it. You need real people, actual partners on the ground who understand all the little quirks and cultural details of the local market. That human expertise is what makes the AI truly smart.
I mean, these partners bring the kind of on-the-ground knowledge that an AI just can't replicate. The cultural nuances, the weird regulatory rules. It's this combination of smart technology and smart people that really cuts down the risk and makes a global launch successful.
Okay, so what happens when we zoom out? When all these different pieces come together, what does this whole AI-powered shift actually mean for the future of how we all shop?
In the end, it's pretty simple. The brands that win on the global stage are going to be the ones that master this new toolkit. They'll be the ones who can understand a customer in Tokyo just as well as they understand one in Toronto, and they'll be able to scale their business with a speed and a confidence that honestly felt like science fiction just a few years ago.
Which leaves us with a pretty huge question for the future. As AI keeps tearing down these barriers of language, culture, and logistics, are we actually heading toward a truly borderless global marketplace? A world where that cool little shop from down your street could become a household name on the other side of the planet? It's definitely something to think about.